Okay, we are live. Very cool. Um, sorry, I was a couple minutes late. They kind of changed since I've done it live. There was a couple more buttons to click. Let me see here. All right. Ooh, this is going to be backwards. I don't know if that's backwards for you guys, but that's not going to work. So I got to figure that out. We'll wait for some people to show up here. The lighting looks good. I think you guys can hear me okay. Here we go. So everybody's coming on. Hello, hello. Say we'll take a minute and see where everybody's coming in from. This is gonna be fun. I got the Pop Talk logo, but everything looks like it's backwards. Sorry, it's light out on the other side. Very cool. So hello, mate. There's some people from Australia for sure. All right, Connecticut, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Edinburgh. I've been to the castle there. All over Scotland. It's a very cool city. Um, very cool. New sub. Well, hello, Kitty May. I like the way they have this here. So, um, as some of you know, we big things are happening here. We're doing a lot of new things. All right, we got 250 people and it's going up. Very cool. Basically from everywhere. Italy, it's all over. I love it. Full volume and I can barely hear you. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Let me see on my volume here where we're at. Is that better, guys? Can you hear me okay? Somebody said they could barely hear me. If anybody can give a thumbs up. Rural Ohio. There we go. Okay. Thumbs up. They can hear me. Very cool. So, as you guys know, they defunded, basically demonetized my channel, and I was close to stopping doing it, but I really took a lot of time and a lot of thought, and it took me like 6 months. I was trying all kinds of different things, talking to people. You guys really helped as well, so that was really nice. This is too high. Bring this down. Yeah, that's right about there. That's good. So I don't look like just a talking head. It was very cool. There was a lot of input from you guys as well, not only on the polls that I did, but um, the comment section and one of the things they talked about, which I didn't even know about, and I don't know, probably a lot of you don't know about, is the super chat. The super chat option is, for $1 or a couple dollars, if you have a particular question, because these questions go quick. If you guys ever want to do that, this is free today. Everything's free. But it does. I thought it was kind of cool because it does pin the question, it highlights it, and it goes to the top and stays till I answer it, which is very cool because I miss a lot of questions and I always feel bad because I'm trying to keep talking and going, and then I'll see a question and it's gone and I didn't see who asked it. So that's kind of a cool thing. I didn't know about that. And I'm assuming a lot of you don't know about super chat, but that is something. If you really have a question that you want me to see, or you've asked it 2 or 3 times and I haven't seen it, that is a way for just $1, that you can, give and help the channel and get your question answered, which is nice. So the other thing is, I have my first subscriber, Green Eyes. I don't know if he or she is here right now. I just wanted to shout him out. The subscriptions, the ad button went live about 2 hours ago. So, and it's just a little join button and it tells you everything you're going to get. So the live we're going to do today, and I got to figure out if that's backwards. It probably is for you guys. Then I'm going to have to learn to draw backwards. No, I'm kidding. We'll do a different thing. So, oh my gosh, so cool, Kathy Brady, big shout out. Thank you so much. Let me see. This is my first time. Let's see. Put in ad. Very cool. I don't think there's a question there, but $4.99 from Kathy Brady. Thank you so much. That was my first super chat. I appreciate it a lot. I know some of you know how much work goes into a channel like this, the hours of editing and everything. And, it's a lot. There are lawyers' fees and everything else, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That is very cool. Let me see. Yes. Oh my gosh, Czar from South Africa, $35. Wow. Thank you guys so much. Whew. That's amazing. I appreciate it. I didn't know if this would work or how you guys would do it, but that is very cool. Thank you so much, Czar. I appreciate it, and I like that you like what we do. I don't know if there's a question with them or not. I'm going to click it here, and it looks like it's just a smiley face and support. So thank you. If there is a question there, write it a couple times, and I will get it. So very cool. Let's get to what we're going to talk about today, which is drug eruptions. Now I got a picture here. This it can be backwards or frontwards. I know there's a reflection off the glass in front of me. William Noel, thank you so much. 4.99. You guys are too kind. I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anybody here. I like that it tags it right at the top, so I make sure to shout you out. Thanks for the support. Right here, you can see that looks painful, right? This is just a picture of a drug eruption. Now imagine your whole body looking like that, and I see it almost daily with patients. Um, I'm gonna. I see some highs there. I'm gonna try. If there are some questions, we'll try to go to the end, and then then I'll be looking this way so I can see them, so I don't break it up the whole time. Jay Teal, very cool. Super fans, welcome. That's a new subscriber. This is amazing. I told my wife maybe we'll get 5 people. I don't know. I really had no idea, but I know you guys like what I do, and I appreciate that. Tasmanian Devil. Oh my goodness, you guys are so cool. Crazy Cat, Karen. So Tasmanian Devil, Crazy Cat, Karen McGirt. Love you and your family and staff. Is there a treatment for scars on my face from self harm? I'm a picker and I treatment for it, but I have scars on my face from PTSD. Absolutely, I do that all the time. I have a resurfacing laser, and I actually have some stories coming out this year that have taken 6 months to a year to make. So they will be coming. Paul, thank you for the dollar as well. I appreciate that. But yeah, Karen, we do that, and thank you for your contribution there as well. Um, so let's do. I'm gonna do my spiel, and then we'll talk some more and answer some questions. So drug eruptions, it's a very common thing that we see, and they go into the ER. And I'm going to talk about a particular thing that I run into that's very difficult actually to diagnose correctly. So everybody knows if you start a new medication, all of a sudden you got hives and you get a rash. Hey, what I'm taking probably caused it. They stop the medication, the rash goes away. That happens all the time. You don't need me to tell you that usually if you started a new medication. Now, some people will start also vitamins or they will start a breakfast shake. It's usually things you're doing every day. So I'll see people all the time that come in with 6 months of looking like that. And they're usually over 60, 65 years of age. They're miserable. I mean, their entire body. Rosa La Salandra, thank you so much. $10. I really appreciate it. Kitty May 98, 4.99. Thank you so much. Man, you guys are gonna bring tears to Mr. Popsit's eyes here. It's like a big hug from all over the world. It's crazy. So I appreciate it. Um, so what we're doing with these drug eruptions when people come in, the patients that I see have been to the primary care and they're not getting better. They've been to the ER and the urgent care. They've been on prednisone, on Medrol dose packs, and these anti-inflammatories, and it gets a little better. And right after they're off of it, it comes right back. And what does that tell me when they come in and say that to me? Something they're allergic to is still being exposed. So they're still taking something. It's still happening. So that's the first question I ask. The other thing, some people just have bad eczema. You want to differentiate just a horrible eczematous rash or atopic dermatitis from a new onset medication eruption or allergy. So that's really important. And when I differentiate between that, I see these people 6 months or a year. In the area that I'm in, I see PPO patients, but I see a lot of it's an underserved area. There are a lot of state-run, kind of like Medi-Cal. How do you become a super member? Esther, thank you so much for the contribution. Well, a super fan is you just hit the join button on the front page, and it's $2.99 a month, and you're going to get these regular videos. And I'm going to be doing another one either today or tomorrow with a video within a video. It's going to be very cool. I think you guys are going to like it. Welcome to super fans, AJ Baby. Thank you so much. Um, so I digress. Where was I? So when they come in, 6 months through a year. In an area in the Inland Empire where I'm at, it's it's an underserved area. Specialty wise, sometimes it's a long wait. Some people haven't had insurance for years, and then they get it, and they have. That's why I see these advanced abscesses and cysts, and I see a lot of them. And you guys have seen that. How big they are. They come in all the time, and it's sometimes because people didn't have insurance or they had to save up money to come in, and I usually give them a big discount because I know they're in pain. I've had people say, you know what, I can't afford it, and I'm like, listen, let's just get this done, and I give them a big discount, and they feel better. So that happens, and it's a good thing when you can help people. That's why I got into this, so it's kind of nice. So in this area, though, I want to talk about the history in the last 10 years with medicine, something called the affordable. I don't even know if I can say it on here without getting dinged, but CARE Act. So what that did is it mandated generic medications to be tried first by a lot of insurances. So these generic medications, Trish Eaton, thank you so much. Very cool. 4.99. Thank you. Um, they mandated it for a lot of these insurances that they had to try a generic first, and even people that were on non-generics and doing okay, I ended up having to change a lot of people's medications. So what do we run into with generic medications? They can be made by any manufacturer. A lot of times there's multiple manufacturers, and what happens with that is there are active ingredients and inactive ingredients in every medication. So the active ingredients are FDA regulated. And those, they don't change from manufacturer to manufacturer by law. The inactive ingredients are a number of things. There's 100, 200 that are on the common allergy list. I'm going to go over a couple of those. Make the mic louder. Sorry, I'm probably going to have to get a mic for these videos. So I'm trying to talk right at it. This mic was usually pretty good, but sorry if you can't hear me. Here we go. So with these inactive ingredients, sulfa, common one. I put a couple here: red dye, yellow dye, casein, peanut oil, sodium benzoate, povidone, which is a polymer, parabens, indigo. There's a ton. I don't necessarily have to know what they're allergic to. The way you go about this is I ask people, and I have a drug eruption algorithm that I created that I give to the patient to ask the pharmacist. Because I was running into this so much in 2014 when that law changed. I went from probably, I don't know, 80 to 100 a year to a couple thousand. Like it was so many patients started coming in. Better now. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to project with my voice. But so and these are long visits, and I'm pretty busy. I'm booked at a high on a high number, and you really got to unpack it if you want to help the person. They've done all the little things, steroids and all that. So I try to really dig in, and the way that I do that, I hope you guys can hear me. Some people are saying they're having trouble. I'm gonna try to scoot a little closer, maybe. Okay. So what I do is see how long have they had the rash. And if it's somebody that's like, listen, I haven't had any dry skin, and then they look as red as that picture I saw you all of a sudden on their entire torso, arms and legs, they're not sleeping. And they're like, listen, this started 4 months ago. So what I will tell them is go to the pharmacist and ask them about manufacturer changes. Manufacturer changes are not illegal for the pharmacy to do. CVS, Rite Aid, any of the pharmacies. It's not illegal for them to buy from another manufacturer. If they buy, thank you, I can hear you. I appreciate that, so I know. If they buy, large volume and they can get a penny less per pill, then they're going to change manufacturer. Sometimes monthly, sometimes it's every 3 months. but I run into that all the time. Hey, Green Eyes, there's Green Eyes from Manchester, UK. I just saw her say hi. She was my first subscriber, paid subscriber for the subscription service. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's very cool. Manchester. So what happens is it can take, sometimes it's the week that you start taking it, even within a couple days. Sometimes it is 2 to 3 months. It is latent and it's a repetitive exposure. If it's a low grade allergy at first, it can kind of build up. And then all of a sudden, I always tell people it's like if you had a leak under your sink and you had a cup and you put it under there. You're not going to see any water on the floor, but one day, one drop is going to take it over the top, and all of a sudden you see it. So it's something that builds up, and then bam, all of a sudden it's there. Oh, very cool. Rosa, welcome to Superfans. Mr. Pops is Superfans. Appreciate it. So I want to make sure there's one up here that's pinned that I did not miss. Yeah. Okay, Esther, I think I said hi to you. They stay at the top. It's so cool, so I can make sure not to miss you guys. It's my first time doing it, so I appreciate it. I'm trying not to miss anybody. So it can be latent and something that builds up. So if it's been 3 or 4 months, I usually go 3 months before. So I will ask them 6 months. Go back and ask the pharmacist manufacturer changes. Very easy for the pharmacist to do. All they have to do is print up all the medications you're on, and then they hit print and they can see the manufacturers from 6 months and did it change. It's easy for them. However, a lot of times they're very busy, especially right now. So, and they come back sometimes and they say, oh, they didn't even look, they didn't print me out anything. So that's why I give them my drug eruption algorithm, so they can go, it's literally yes or no questions, and they can hand it straight to the pharmacist. And it is such an easy fix. Such an easy fix. I tell them the medication, the manufacturer from last year that you were on when you're totally fine and you've been on it 5 years, go back to that. The rash goes away. And it seems easy, but maybe because I deal with it all the time, but it's missed all the time. And the problem is sometimes there's 20 medications from 6 different doctors with these 80-year-old patients, and they're on so many things. And it's the new ones that matter. If you're on something 5-10 years, it's highly unlikely that that's the cause. Not that it can't be the cause, but it's highly unlikely. If you start a new vitamin, sometimes it's just a dye to make the pill yellow. That you could, yellow and red dye are very common allergens. So it can be a simple thing sometimes. And asking those questions, I know there's a lot of questions up here. I'm going to try to go through them once I'm done, because I know I've missed a lot trying to stay on track, which it's like squirrel for me. It's very common. So it's I enjoy it immensely to be able to help somebody, because by the time they get to me, they've gone to 3 or 4 people sometimes, and they're angry and they want answers. So Holly from Pinedale, Wyoming, thank you so much. I appreciate it. $5, that helps. Thank you. Very cool. So what happens when you can't help them is they become a patient for life. And so it's very rare. Sometimes I'll do a biopsy and we'll catch something weird like cutaneous T-cell lymphoma or mycosis fungoides, which we'll talk about in another derm diagnosis video, that can look just like it. So history is important. Somebody who's never had eczema or dry skin and all of a sudden they look like the picture I showed in the beginning, that level of inflammation is because they're ingesting something into the stomach. It's dissolving into the bloodstream and going throughout their entire body. So it makes you miserable. If you're allergic to something you're eating every day, these are angry, mad people, and I understand it. So I take the time and we get there. And sometimes some of these pharmacists even make me, they don't make me, I do the biopsies anyways, but I actually have had patients have to go in with their path report to prove that they have a likely drug eruption. And what we'll generally see is eosinophils. So we'll see certain cells there that are kind of inflammatory or allergic cells in the biopsy, which is how we know it's an allergic reaction. And that could be just from a contact as well. If you walk by a plant and the oil got on you, you would still have an allergic reaction if you did the biopsy. So that's why the history is everything. Um, okay, let's see. Somebody had a question there. I don't know. I get a drink of water there. So that is the history is everything. And taking 5 minutes to talk to somebody, you'd be surprised how many providers don't do that. They literally just don't take the time. So in and out of the room, all of that. People just kind of running in and out. I talk with all my patients, and I'm busy. It's not that I have a ton of time. I average, you get like 7 to 11 minutes per patient, but I always tell people it is, it's not about the length of time you're in the room. A good clinician that has been doing this for a long time, and I've been 12 years. I did the math just the other day, around 160 to 180 patients a week for 12 years. It turns out to about 98,000, 99,000 patients in 12 years and almost 20,000 hours in the room. When you do something that long, I look at things. It's very rare that I don't know what something is. There's a lot of things that look similar. So when you walk in, I've diagnosed it already, probably before I've said hi to you. So what we're talking about is the explanation. And the difference between, I think, a great clinician and an amazing clinician is all the good ones can diagnose. It's the ones that take the time to explain in layman's terms to the patient so they understand. They're there for answers. It isn't about going in and just being like, hey, I'm the guy that knows everything and boom, here's what you get, and they run out. It's taking that time. And that's another reason I did my channel too, because I wanted to show that there's still empathetic providers out there that do take the time. And with the way medicine's going and the margins being cut all the time, the numbers are going up, and it is hard. It's hard. It's a daily balance constantly. So I'm gonna have this one's totally free to everybody, but this is one of the videos that I'm gonna do. I can't believe it's 22 minutes already. Oh my gosh. This is the type of video I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do a lot of acne. We're gonna do psoriasis. We're gonna do there's I think 19,000 over 19,000 derm diagnoses. We have some to choose from. But we're gonna go. I'm gonna see when I watch the video if this is backwards or not. I know sometimes it's this way on my on when I'm seeing, but it actually turns it around for the video. Can you maybe somebody can tell me, is that backwards to you guys as well? You can read it. Okay. Very cool. I mean, you can just read backwards or no, it's not bad. Looks okay. Perfect. Okay. Where you write message, click beside it, it comes up in super chat. Yeah. So if you guys can read that, that's cool. I think they do. The board is not backwards. Awesome. Thank you guys. Okay. So I can do that. It shows me a mirror image, so it's backwards to me, but I can read it to you guys then. So I'll be able to use the whiteboard. I love it. So we will, as far as the drug eruptions, I want to just, and we've had a couple hundred people here. This has been really cool. And I know a lot of people are going to see this afterwards as well. And with these, when you get the biopsies and it shows, these allergic reaction cells that are there, a lot of times the eosinophils, it can be more than one thing. So you really want to ask about vitamins and breakfast shakes. I have had people start a diet and breakfast shakes. They've also had medication changes and they go back to the old medication. It's still there. So you really got to do a thorough history about what they're taking daily. That's so important. And when they come back in and they're man, they'll give you a hug. They are so happy. And it's not that in the ER and urgent cares that that they don't know what they're doing or anything like that. There's a lot of things in derm that look similar, a lot. And I see from the ER a lot of times I get scabies referrals for scabies. 1 out of 100 is actually scabies. So they kind of see certain things and they're like, oh, that could be scabies, or if this person was homeless or they were in jail or these types of things where they get scabies, but it's not scabies. So I see it every day. They just see rashes here and there, and that's the difference. That's why you go to a specialist, and that's why I do what I do. If you come into me with heartburn, or it could be a heart attack, that's what they do. And so they're going to be able to differentiate between that. So this has been a very cool live chat. I've learned a lot in the last 2 or 3 months. Obviously, there's no YouTube tutorial in PA school, and also a lot of people ask. I am a physician assistant. I should talk about that for just a second. That specializes in dermatology. I know certain countries don't have physician assistants. It's a master's degree in medicine, much like nurse practitioners as well. They're clinicians that some of them have their doctorate. Some PAs have their doctorate too, but the most common is a master's degree. And you get trained by doctors. And I was talking with somebody the other day, and I said, do you think in the first 2 or 3 years that they only gave me 80% of what they know, or 60%? They if you find a great doctor, they're going to it's like being on a rotation for years with them, and you're going to learn from the best. I was trained by doctors, those doctors were trained by doctors, and so the knowledge base passes on, and that's how we help people. So I have seen a lot of shingles, and we're going to do that too, and I've got some good information on that. But it's been 25 minutes. mm. You can't find the join button. So um, you may need to be signed in or verified. I think you have to be 18 and over for it. So that's a good question. I'll look it up and kind of talk about it next time. And these are going to be on my paid subscriptions, but I am still going to do lives. I'm still going to do live chats for the people who can't afford the paid subscription. We'll still do those just for updates, and I will probably do a couple during the good ones, the ones that I feel like I could really help people with, like drug eruptions, like this one, because it's a frustrating one for people. I'm going to be doing quite a few for the paid subscribers, and then every now and then you're going to get one for free, just so people can see what they're missing. So I really I appreciate you guys have been so kind, and I know that there's a lot of choices on YouTube. There's a lot of people doing stuff, but when I started this out, I couldn't even edit. If you look at my early videos, and I have kept some really bad edited videos on there, and they're all negative comments, and it's because I like to see where I came from, where I started, and where I'm at now. And the camera was far back, or it was really shaky on one, and I should probably put a disclaimer on that one. It's the one on the back, and she was just moving the camera all over the place. So, but I've really tried to hone in and stop the movement of the camera. And what does your wife think of all this? Good question. She likes it. She's excited, and we I have some products. I'm going to talk about a sunblock, and I'm going to do a whole video on it. And we've got some great stuff that I'm going to be selling on my website, actually. And I don't back a lot of products because there's a lot of similarities. Nothing is really all that different sometimes with salicylics or glycolics or benzoyl peroxide. But with sunblocks, there can be a big difference. And I've got one that I'm going to talk about. I don't want to ruin the surprise. So Gina, very cool. Welcome to Mr. Pops' Superfans, new member. Thank you. Gina Parton. Shout out. So what I'm gonna do, you guys are gonna like the video in a video. That I'm gonna call them video dissections. I think there's a doctor in England that does that. There's a couple people that do it. You can't join on an iPhone. Apple won't let you. Okay, maybe you have to be on the computer. Gosh, you guys find out before I can. You probably have to be on the computer. You may on your computer. And I know there are some countries, that's a good Tasmanian devil. I think there are some countries that it's not available, that you can't do it yet. I'm not sure if that's because of exchange rate, maybe with money or something. I'm not sure. But I did see that it has to be available, I believe. So, but we'll check that out. And when I find out too, some of these are free. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna have some free ones for sure. I I asked a lot of people, and I was looking through a lot of comment sections about how to do this, and I think it's a really good thing that we came up with, the offer that I'm doing, because what really did it for me, because I was going to charge for some of my procedure videos, and the pilomatricoma that you guys just saw was a little 10-year-old girl, and she was so excited to show her family, and I thought to myself, well, yeah, she's gonna have to go and sign up. It just didn't feel right to me. So in the videos are what has grown this channel, and it's cool to see. And it's the big part. It's what brings people in. And for the people who want more, I'm going to give more. And for the people who want lots of pops, and man, do I have some stuff coming your guys' way. One of my biggest video is a giant abscess. I have a gianter abscess. It's even bigger, and it's a rare infection, and it's really tender. And I have four, I think, videos for him. It's coming soon. Look for mirabilis abscess. It's a mirabilis infection, and it was a cyst that actually had a bacterial infection, and it is giant. I drain it, and then it kind of comes. We get the inflammation down. We kill the bacteria, but I swab it. Had to change the antibiotic, and then the cyst, after all the inflammation goes down, the cyst is there. So then I do an excision, and it's the whole, like, it's a great story. Very cool. So I've got a lot of videos like that are coming, like 3 or 4 videos in a row with follow-ups of pretty unique cases that are big removals, and then some of them came back. Another one that I'm going to tease here is the Milkshake Cyst, the Shamrock Shake abscess on the back. That one is coming soon as well, and she's a great patient. She's excited to see it. Everything dried up, and there was a cyst in there, and I sent it out, and it was a cyst. But what comes out of the cyst, I've never seen before. So I'm just gonna tease it with that. It's interesting. I also have another one on the leg that we're gonna be sharing too. That it has the contents of which I've seen something like it, but it's pretty amazing too. So a lot of cool things coming. I'm going to try to still have family time as well, because I am doing a lot of editing in these things, but I enjoy this. I was approached by a local PA school to teach, and a couple years ago, and I was like, man, I just don't have the time. I would love to do it, because I had a teacher there as a patient, and they're like, wow, Kathy Brady, very cool. Welcome to super fans. Mr. Pops is super fans. A new member. So this is it's kind of quenching that thirst. I'm able to do kind of teaching. Now, one thing, a disclaimer I want to say, I obviously can't, diagnose somebody, and this isn't to diagnose somebody. This is kind of broad information. So that's important to say, because I can't actually do that online. But yes, so we got through. If there was some, now I'm going to be looking at the questions and stay on that. If anybody had some questions, we still have just under 200 people here. The girl with the gentle voice. Yeah. So I'm going to start reading some of these questions. She was interesting story, by the way. She went out of the country for almost a year and ran out of medications, and totally, we had her clear. She was so happy. She left, ran out of medications, and everything just filled back up. And I have 7 sessions with her already recorded, and they're amazing. One of them squirts on the phone, like on my, the camera on the phone. There's some pretty cool videos. So that's coming too. Those are just long edits. They take me like 3 hours to edit those, like 25 or 30-minute extraction videos. So yeah, I've got, I think, 58 that I have that are saved for me to do. At some point, when this gets big enough, I'm gonna have somebody else editing. It's gonna help a lot. But we'll see. So let's see. I'm gonna answer some questions. We'll do another couple minutes here. Let me see. Do you remove moles and skin tags every day, all the time? Let's see. Shingles. Shingles is a common thing I see. And, getting the Shingrix, some people get that. I don't even know if I can say the word VACCINE. For it. It's supposed to reduce it by 50%, which is a good thing. But I do want to tell a quick story that I think you guys will find funny. Yes, I'll definitely need a moderator. I agree. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. The video I did after I got, when people have been sick lately, I don't even want to say the word, because what happened, my channel was getting 600,000 views a day. And I was getting 2,000 subscribers a day for 8 weeks, roughly, for the last like 2 months. When I did that video on the boat, and I talked about that I got through, I don't even want to say it, the infection that's going around right now, within 12 hours, everything dropped 90. All of my numbers went straight down. And then there was a disclaimer for information about it. So YouTube is, you got to really be careful what you say, apparently. So that was, I told you guys I had a day by day, 9 days of me going through being sick, and I was going to post it, but I'm going to wait and see. Maybe when this thing kind of blows over, I may post it. But it was a good video. I talked about each day, what I felt like. Right in the camera, I was excited to share that. But I'm gonna hold off on that video for now because they stopped. I believe what the algorithm did is took me off the main page where they share me, and we're working our way back up. But I was pretty surprised that that was on a live, and I was saying that I got through it and it was good. Let's see. Apple users can't join your superfan. Can you check on your end, please? Karen Meggert. Thank you, Karen, for the support. $6.99. I appreciate it. I can check. That's weird. Maybe it's because it's on a phone. I don't know, but I will check because I have some family members that have Apple, and they were gonna go on there and see. On the computer, you should be able to. Let me check. On my computer, it does come up. Um, Let me check on my other. There was a join button on my MacBook Pro too. So it might. I'm assuming it might be because the people are not age verified. So not everybody. I wasn't age verified before I started this. I would go on YouTube all the time and look, and I didn't. They didn't have my name and all my info. So I'm on an iPad and can't join. Yeah. So check in if you need to just verify or maybe officially sign in. That could be it. I'm assuming, but I will look into that though, Karen. I can. I think I can send an email out. So Phil Bachelor, there we go. Welcome to Superfans. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. So this has been great, man. What I'm really excited about is having a more active dialogue and still sharing some great videos, but doing these tutorials because this is what I do every day. It's just I'm just sharing what I do, and so there's not a ton of work I have to do on that side, which is nice because this is what I'm talking to patients every day. But I will, I'm always looking up new studies and things that are coming out, and that's what's going to be fun to share. So um, I really appreciate your guys' support, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Like that was the last like 6 months or 8 months when they cut almost all ads. There are a couple videos that do have a few ads, but I can't believe it because I was emailing back and forth with them. You cannot call anybody, and they just literally cut it out. And so we were paying lawyers and buying merch, and there was a little bit coming in. It just went straight down. So everything that you guys did today is a huge help. And if it keeps going and things are growing, Susan Hamilton, awesome. Welcome to Mr. Pops is super fans. You remember. I appreciate it. If when this thing keeps going, we've got some really cool. Lastly, gosh, 38 minutes. I am such a talker. We have some great merch coming. I'm really excited about it. And I was just going to do a couple things, but then when they stopped ads, I was like, well, we better do some good merch because that might be the only way that we're going to be able to keep it going. Just some of the logos, the obvious like things like hats and t-shirts and hoodies. But there's gonna be some shot glasses. There's some really cool stickers, and I had one on the phone I can show you on the computer. So you can rep the Mr. Pops it and show us on Instagram and Facebook if you do. We appreciate it. And I am going to there will be on the website that within a week or two, all of this should be good to go. I'm just waiting on samples before we can verify and go live. So yeah, I got a good idea for a coffee mug. Jessica, very cool. Welcome, Mr. Pops is super fans. A great idea for a coffee mug. I should say it now before anybody does it, but the ones that heat up and things change. I was gonna do one that looks like an abscess, and then as it heats up and it peels down, it's like bursting abscess. Or I was also going to do sutures, different closures. I thought that would be cool for med students. Running stitches, all those different things. And Kathy Brady, yes, there will be. I will pull out the guitar. I'm going to do it. It's right over there, but that's going to happen too. I've done it on a couple before, but Yeah, I've got some songs that I've written that nobody's even heard. I'll do it for my people. That's totally cool. So yeah, coffee mug should be fun, and the sutures. I thought it was very cool too. AJ Baby. I was like, there's so many students on here as well, which I think is great. And if you could, you know, have certain sutures on there, and then when it heats up, there's more advanced sutures. I was thinking that too. So the simple ones that you see on the mug, and I like the ones that kind of heat up and change. It's kind of cool. So, all right, 40 minutes. I should probably call it a day. Oh yeah, Kathy actually looked up the group and listened. Yeah, you guys can hear. It's never heard of it. NHOI. I know we're on Amazon Music. I think we're on a couple streaming services, and we have like 40 songs, 50 songs on there. There's several albums, so you guys can check it out. And when you're listening, there's a lead singer, kind of got a little bit of raspy voice. All those high harmonies, that Irish tenor that you hear in the back, that's me. So I did all the harmonies, and I'm doing sometimes 10 harmonies on some of those songs. It's very fun. Maybe it was because I grew up with 80s music that I like some of those big choruses, but I was also one of the main songwriters. So that's kind of, it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And I was all over the United Kingdom. And I'm pretty sure there's people on here for the United Kingdom. I guarantee saw me because we opened up for Bowling for Soup, 5,000 people a night, 43 shows multiple times. We went over there with them. So I know Bowling for Soup is huge in the United Kingdom. They're a Texas punk rock band here. But yeah, so big things coming. It's a happy new year, happy 2022 merch, and a lot of fun we're going to have. So this is the first one. I wanted to make it a long one and cover a lot of the stuff. So I'm going to go through and look at some of the questions that I missed. Let me just make sure I shouted out all these members. Yeah, Jessica Dickey, thank you so much. And Susan Hamilton. Very cool. What was the band called again? Never heard of it. That was actually the name. And we did that because, when you're starting out, you tell somebody the name, like, oh, never heard of it. So we were just like, yeah, we'll just call ourselves Never Heard of It. It was actually, I was in another band, but I joined that band. So NHOI, it looks like Nahoy. We were big in Japan too. Japan and United Kingdom, we did great. Not through YouTube. Interesting. Apple wants to be able to send the bill not through YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna look into that. So maybe with like Apple Pay or something. I know when I clicked it on, and I have an iPhone, it said to double click the side. So Sourshot Ireland, 9.99. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That is so cool. You guys obviously know about the what is it called? Pop. Let me look it up. I can't even think of it. The chat. So with the chat, the paid chat, I had no idea you could even do that. I had it off the whole time. I could have just clicked the button and turned it on. I didn't even know about it. You guys are obviously pros. So thank you. I appreciate it. It's a great way to help me, put money aside for merch and those things and pay bills. So much appreciated. I hope you guys have the great rest of your weekend. Probably tomorrow, I'm going to do the video in the video. And the first one I'm doing is the eyebrow pilomatricoma, the pocket full of pebbles cyst. So I'll likely be doing that tomorrow. It's going to be free as well. And then those two types of videos are going to be one of the main things that we're doing with the subscriptions. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It took some time to put it together, but I think it's going to be fun. So let me take, I'm going to answer just a couple more questions. We'll see here. I want to see if I missed any. It's good. Oh, yeah. There are taboo words. That is correct, Terry, for sure. Let me just go to the bottom here. Yeah, the pebbles were amazing. And it's interesting. I'm going to answer a question tomorrow. A lot of people said, why did you ask her about tooth pain? Find out tomorrow. So I'm going to be signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was great having you guys here. It's going to be fun to watch this grow as well, from a couple hundred people to a couple thousand at a time. I think that's going to be great. And we're going to be teaching. So signing off from Southern California. You guys have a great weekend.